Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Walking with God. I am your host, Kyle Walker, and it is Tuesday, August 7th, 2018. This is what we were calling the season premiere of the second season of the show. So I wanted to welcome you to it. We are coming to you live from Kansas City, where it's actually not a terribly hot day. We've lucked out. It's amazing. Like I told you, this is what we're calling our second season, and we've been off the air for a while. Our last show was in May. Hey, look at that. We've already got our first person in. Go ahead. Yeah, that's great. Our last show was in May. It was right before Memorial Day. We've not been on since. So this is kind of our second season of the show. But really, there's kind of more going on here than this just being the second season. We are really kind of starting over at this point. This show is taking some twists and turns over the last 2 months. And really, we're now starting a whole new chapter in this show. And so what we're going to do tonight here on our first show back, we're going to be a little light on the divorce stuff, which, if you're new to the show, this is the show for divorced people, single people, men and women, people who've been down the road or going through it. Just a place where we can talk about experiences and hopefully learn from each other. And we do all this in a Christian perspective, hence the name Walking with God. Again, I'm Kyle Walker. I've been doing this for about 14 months now. I've been divorced for 8 years, so I feel like I have kind of a wealth of experience that I want to share with people, and that's really what this show is about. Now, what we're going to do tonight, since it's our first show back, is we're going to kind of talk about 3 different phases of this show. Kind of where we've been and how we started, where we are right now, which is different than where we have been, and then where we're going. Okay, so that's the 3 things we're going to cover tonight. Again, going to be light on the divorce stuff, but let's think of this as more the housekeeping episode than anything else. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's what we've been. This show was spawned from an idea that I had over a year ago, where I just wanted to start a small group at my church. And through a course of events, I saw that there was a not-for-profit, more or less radio station that was looking for people who just kind of had their own ideas for shows and things that they wanted to talk to people about, again, with a Christian perspective. I reached out to them thinking that there was going to be no chance that they would have any interest in me. And after a process of speaking to them and talking to them, we came up with this show. Just a guy in Kansas City who's been down the path of divorce, who wants to talk to people about it and see if I can't help people avoid the mistakes that I made or the mistakes that I know others have made, and just try and really just get people through a very difficult point of their life. And it doesn't matter if you've been, all the way married and you're getting a divorce, or you are divorced, or you were in a long-term relationship and that has ended. Whatever your situation might be, it's never a fun thing to do when you have to go down this road. So this show just started from an idea that I wanted to help people. That was going to be a small group at my church and is now turned into this. So I say that I presented the idea and it was accepted. I was just given a chance, all right? And I had never done anything like this before. It was completely new to me. So it was just a chance that they gave me to see if I couldn't make something work. And it has worked. It's worked for 45 episodes and for 14 months. And with everything accumulated together and all the various means that you can listen to this show or interact with it, we're at almost 900,000 interactions. That's not bad for a show where nobody knows who I am. I'm just some guy sitting in Kansas City. I'm not some celebrity with a podcast. But because people have listened and people have enjoyed and people have found benefits from it, word has spread slowly but surely, and here we are. And so, again, what started as an idea became kind of a proposal to them on what we could do. It was accepted. They took a chance, and then we've had very, very great amounts of success with just what we've accomplished in 14 months and almost 900,000 interactions. So we've done a lot in that time frame, right? Right. So our last show, like I said, was before Memorial Day. So it was, I think I wrote down the day. It was May 22nd was our last show. And I told you that we were going to take the summer off. The station that we were with, they take the summers off. And so we were going to take the summer off. And I was planning on coming back in September. But things change, as things always change. So during the time off, maybe about a month ago, I was talking to the people we were with, and let us just say that due to some creative differences, we have decided to part ways. So the station that I started with, that gave me this chance to do this show, they wanted to go in a little bit of a different direction than I did with this show. And so we kind of just found ourselves at a crossroad. Now, I wish them nothing but the best. Certainly was not my idea to go this route, but this is kind of how things have worked out. But I wish them the best, nothing but continued success for all those people, because I've gotten to know a lot of the people who have their own shows, a great bunch of people, very, very strong in their faith, and they really do offer a lot of great services. So to them, I say all the best, all the luck in the world to you. I know you guys are going to do well. But that left me in a very difficult situation, as this was kind of where I started. It was where my loyalties lied. And now I'm finding that really a decision had to be made. Did I want to continue on with what we were doing, knowing that I would basically be doing it by myself? Or was this just going to be a great time to say, you know what, had a good run, it was fun, but without the benefits of kind of this not-for-profit behind me, I've got to do now everything by myself, and I wasn't really sure, if I should even keep going or not, because every week it's effort, it's prep time to get into the show, and it was the equipment that I bought, and it's just the talking to people and arranging the guest, and there's been financial expenses that I have paid, and so I really started to question if this was something that I wanted to continue doing. So that is really where we were, where we've been. Here's where we are now. So this all happened, the split, about 3 weeks to a month ago. And so I was right in the beginning stages of it, the early steps, we shall say, as my notes go falling all over the place, as they tend to do. And so as I was mulling over if I wanted to continue on, kind of a cool thing happened. So it was my week of vacation away from my day job. And our buddy Joe, everyone knows Joe, who is our once a month guest on this show, he gave me he sent me a text message, me and a couple other guys, and he said, "Hey, we need to have a fireside tonight." And in our church, a fireside is just a meeting. Let's actually sit around a fire and let's just talk. He felt a nudge that a fire needed to happen. Well, and so I responded, I'll be there. And so all the issues with the show were still fresh on my mind. And when I got there, really some guys, they had things that they needed to just vent. They needed to just get off their chest. And then some guys needed people to talk to, and they needed to get other perspectives and other thoughts, and just kind of get that guidance. And then there was me. I just needed to listen. I seriously just needed to sit there and listen to what everyone else was saying, because I didn't know exactly what to do with my situation. So I didn't need to talk, and I didn't really need advice. I needed to just listen, and I maybe said 10 words that whole night. And you guys know me. I can talk just a hair, just a little bit. So I listened to all the conversations, and I tried to find ways to relate to them and what I was facing. And, what to do about the show, and more importantly, what to do with some very negative feelings that I had about the whole situation. Because, again, it was a big surprise to me. It was not something I expected. And when you get kind of a negative surprise, you're going to have those negative feelings about it. And again, that is something that we can relate to divorce now, can't we? So I needed to listen. And so then finally I heard it. I heard exactly what was happening with me. I heard this, and the decision was made after we reached this part of our meeting, of our fireside. It was the coolest thing. So it was actually our buddy Joe who said this. Now credit goes to a former pastor of our church, Pastor Dan. And he said this. What Joe reminded all of us is the enemy, Satan, the devil, whatever you want to call him, just that negative part of our life, uses 3 tools, okay, to try and dissuade us from doing what we should do. All right. And here's what he uses. Here's the 3 D's that the enemy uses: division, distraction, and discouragement. And as soon as I heard those 3 things, I knew that's exactly what was happening to me and to this situation and to the situation surrounding the show. Look at it. Division is the first one. It's the divide from walking with God with Kyle Walker and then the people that I started with. There's the divide right there. And again, that led to negative feelings, and that led to negative thoughts and almost wanting to give up the show. So there is the division. Okay, one of the tools the enemy uses right there. Distraction. Yes, it was a distraction. As I was getting ready to jump back into the show and be all ready to go with our second half of the season, this was a huge distraction. It was a distraction of, did I even want to keep doing it? That's kind of a big distraction when you're talking about going forward with something, is, do you even want to? And then the last one was discouragement. I was very discouraged. I was discouraged because I felt like I wasn't wanted anymore. I felt like what I was doing didn't matter. I felt like maybe I just wasn't doing a very good job, even though the numbers and the feedback would indicate otherwise. You look at this and like, man, they didn't want me to keep doing what I was doing. So was I doing it wrong? Am I doing it bad? Should I stop? Should I not subject everyone else to all of these things that I'm trying to accomplish here? Maybe people don't want to listen to me for 30 minutes a week. I don't want to listen to me for 30 minutes a week, but I'm kind of stuck with me. So those were the three things that, as soon as I heard those thrown out, I'm like, you know what? This is just the negative forces of life, and again, whatever you want to call them, trying to stop me from doing this show, from doing what I like to do. I enjoy doing this, and anytime somebody says, oh man, you really said something that helped me, or wow, you threw out the perfect scripture at the perfect time for what I needed to hear, or oh man, I can relate to that story that you told that happened to you during the blah, blah, blah. That is to me why I do this. Okay, it's why I spend my time preparing. It's why I bought the equipment, and it's why I invest my own personal funds in it. I believe in what we're doing here. So after I saw the division, the distraction, and the discouragement, it's like, aha, someone is trying to stop us from doing this, and I'm not going to let them do that. All right. So it told me in that moment that whatever we're doing here, whatever is going on this podcast, we're doing something right. And so we are going to keep on doing it. So I made that decision right then. Boom. We are continuing on, even if we're kind of going by ourselves. We're going solo, going rogue, if you will. So as they said in the now defunct circus, the show must go on. And so that's what it's going to do. And that brings us to where we are today. Hooray. So we are going it alone. It is walking with God against the world right now. Not really, but you get the sentiment. We've got no backing from an established not-for-profit or a 501c3 or really anyone else. No corporate sponsorships here, but maybe someday we'll change that. Cha-ching. No. So we're doing this entirely on our own. So when I came to the decision to continue on the show, I did the first thing that any of us, and I mean any of us, should do when faced with a big situation. Not a big decision. If you're faced with a big decision, maybe you should pray about it. But when you've got a big situation in front of you, I did what we should do, and I called someone who was way smarter than me. Ta-da! So I talked to people I have mentioned to you before. I talked to Katie and Chris over at Clover Hill Promotions that are great and wonderful friends of this show, and they jumped at the opportunity to help kind of relaunch the show and relaunch this entire brand. They immediately got to work on things that are going to help this show immensely and just help us grow and to get the word out as to what we're doing here. So what we need to do right now is we kind of need to talk about some of the things that have gone by the wayside, or really things that are kind of out of our realm of control at this very moment, because I don't want people going to the wrong places to try and find this show. I understand that a half hour on Tuesday night is not the vast majority's means of listening to this show. Okay, everyone watching on Facebook Live right now, I know that you can see me, but most people listen to this as a podcast where you can't see me at all. So I am going to try and be more aware that if I reference something that I'm looking at, I will have to probably just post it to the Instagram account. So if you're listening on the podcast and you're like, wow, what was that he was talking about? I can post a picture on Instagram and you'll be able to see it, because I'm going to show you something here shortly. But anyway, so here's what we can't do at this very, very moment. We did have access to iTunes and YouTube and Spotify and iHeartRadio and TuneIn and Spreaker, a lot of those podcast carrying sites. As of right now, the old stuff is still out there, but nothing after April 6th. And so nothing right now until we can get those all resubmitted under our own banner and then be able to kind of get them out the where they should be and where they used to be. So again, you can listen to old shows there right now. The new stuff is going to have to go on the back burner on getting there. Okay, it's just a process, and it's a process we're working on, but it takes time. So if you go to any of those looking for the new stuff, or to refer to a friend, they're not going to be there at this moment. So please just keep that in mind. So those avenues that were presented through us, they're not available at this time right now, but Facebook Live is kind of our big avenue. That's our big platform right now. And that's how most of you are watching at this moment. 10 people in here right now. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. So Clover Hill Promotions, the wonderful folks over there, they went and they've already taken all the old shows. They've taken all the old audio that we had, and they're moving it over to another podcasting site called Podomatic. And that is where the shows are going to start being housed, and then they will be fed out from there. And again, that just takes time. It takes all these other people, all the iTunes and the YouTubes and the Spotifys and the iHeartRadios, they've got to reapprove everything, and it's not a quick process. My people are doing what they're supposed to do. It's just waiting for the big corporate response saying, okay, yeah, here you go. We're finally going to put it out now. Okay, thank you. So they are eventually going to get back out there, but they're not going to be there for a minute. We're going to work on that. So now that you know that, we're going to move on to kind of the two real big points of the evening. And anyone who knows me knows what I'm about to talk about next, and that's why I'm hem-hawing a little bit. So this is the part I hate. I was told about a website, and it was suggested to me that I do this. And it makes sense. I just hate doing it. It is called Patreon.com. It's Patreon.com. Patreon.com. And this is a site where creators of content, all like yours truly, creating content of the show, can start pages, and one has been started for the show. And people, listeners, supporters, can choose to make monthly donations to this artist or to the show or to the cause, whatever it might be, to really help support and kind of help pay to advance. There are Patreon sites out there where people are pulling down just insane amounts of money. I'm not looking to do that. I'm just looking to not pay for this all by myself. Now, if there was a day where I could make my living off of this show, wow, that would be super duper great. Don't see that in the cards anytime soon, so I'm certainly not asking that. But if you wanted to set up a little something to help further this show's cause, well, at least I didn't see like a whole slew of people turning me off at that moment. That would be great. It would be wonderfully appreciated, and I will tell you a little more about it. So, I mean, I hate asking for the money stuff, but the truth here is that we are going alone, and I spend my own personal money on the show every month. I do it gladly because I've never been a tither. Tithing is biblical, and it's something that we're all supposed to be doing. I will admit in front of you guys, I've never been good at it. So since I don't do that, and, I'm a divorced father with 2 kids, I don't really have a whole lot of extra money to throw in the offering plate every Sunday. This is how I give to the kingdom, shall we say. This is what I got. I put it into this show because I believe in this ministry, and I believe in what we're doing here, and I believe that I want to help, and I believe that I was nudged in this direction to help. So this is how I give. Now, maybe you're a person who doesn't go to church, but you are feeling a nudge to give. You can give here if you believe in this ministry, in me, in what we're doing, and you feel that nudge to do so. I'm not saying do it blindly. I'm saying that if you feel it, if you say, wow, you know what, maybe that is where I'd like my $2 a month to go. All right, I've set up several different tiers on Patreon. You can just give $2 a month, and I am darn grateful for you to give me $2 a month. You can do $5 a month. If you do $5 a month, we're going to set up a Facebook group, a closed group, where we'll have extra videos, extra content, more interaction, like maybe 15 to 20 minutes after every show. We'll hang out there. We can talk, we can chat, answer questions. I'll post different things throughout the week. If you do $5 a month, I'll throw you in that group. All right, something different, something new. If you go to $10 a month, we're going to offer you a 10% discount on merchandise for the show. Yes, you heard that correctly. There's going to be merchandise for the show. I think that's so cool. But we're going to get there in a minute, okay? I won't get ahead of myself. And then if you do anything above 10, if you go 15, 20, 25, whatever dollar amount it is, I will give you that percentage off merchandise. So you could at least get yourself a cheap t-shirt if that was something that you wanted. And the way that I look at selling t-shirts, okay, so I went to a concert 2 weeks ago. They charge a ridiculous amount for a t-shirt, but that's because that's the only way you're going to get it. Right? You're not going to find it in a store, and you're not going to get it anywhere else. So at least for this, if you happen to want one of these stylish, lovely shirts, you can order it through our shop and have a shirt. And if you're a Patreon person, if you're a donor through there, then you can get a discount if it's 10 or above. Hooray! That's like the best I can think of because this is not my deal. So some of the other things, if we ever get to the point, and I mean ever get to the point, where we are doing $500 per month, $500 comes in per month. And again, using that to expand the show, expand the reach, and pay for all these extra expenses that we're now incurring because we're trying to grow. If we get to $500 a month, I'm going to take the show from 30 minutes to 45 minutes a week. And if it's ever to 1,000, we're going to go to 1 hour every week. I don't know. I thought that sounded kind of cool. It's a goal. If we make it, great. If we don't, you're not going to see me be upset about it. We're going to try. It's good to have goals, right? So that's what we're going to do. So, like I said, if you believe in what we're doing, if maybe you're not giving elsewhere, but you have felt that you should, and if this is something you want to support, then please pray about supporting this show financially. Again, $2 a month. That's all I ask. All I ask is $2 a month. Anything over and above that, that is completely your decision. I ask you for $2 measly a month. That's less than 2 bottles of soda. So anyway, I'm going to get off of that right now. Okay, so now you're going to ask. You're going to say, well, hey, okay, Patreon, how do I get there? Well, let me tell you how you're going to get there. We launched our own website. Yay! It's super cool. We have our own website now. It was designed by Clover Hill Promotions. It went live yesterday. So I preface that by saying it is still a work in progress. It is not 100% done, but we do have our website, and I'm going to give it to you right now. Okay, it is www.walkingwithgodradio.com. That is like as easy as we could get it. Walkingwithgodradio.com. It's all one word. Don't even hit the space bar. www.walkingwithgodradio.com. If you go there, you're going to be able to find a link to Podomatic. You can listen to all the old shows. You're going to find the link to Patreon. You're going to be able to donate if you so choose. You're going to find the link to the merchandise. It's not live yet, but it's on the way. If you want to buy merchandise from the store. And if you buy merchandise from the store, that is through Amazon. It is through Amazon.com. Like legit, everyone knows Amazon. And it is available for Prime members. So Prime members can get their shirts in like 2 days. Once it goes live. It's not quite there yet. But that is a super exciting and really fun part. I mean, do I expect that we're going to have a merchandise blowout sale? Nah, probably not. But if you decide you want a t-shirt, or if you decide you want the Walking with God shower curtain, we can make that happen as well. It's going to be kind of cool. You can get some coasters, a shower curtain. There's all sorts of fun stuff that you can actually do through all this. But that's coming down the pipe, but it'll be kind of cool. So with that, again, www.walkingwithgodradio.com, which I think is the coolest name. My notes are so excited they keep tipping over, which is kind of how I keep myself on track. We've got all of that going. And so, yeah, if you go to the website, which was built, you can get to anything from there. You can come back. It will link you to the Facebook page, take you to our Twitter account, take you to our Instagram account. All of these social media avenues we're going to have to use more and more as we're trying to expand the reach of the show. And with going to Podomatic, as we have, we're going to get back out everywhere else, to the Spotifys, to the iTunes, to the iHeartRadios. We're going to get there, okay? It's going to happen. It's just not there yet, but there went the voice. When we do, it will all be available on the website. So between the Facebook page and the website, those are like your two-stop shoppings right there, okay? So if you need anything, if you need to contact the show, it's right there on the website. You can hit contact the show, leave your name, it leaves your email address. It comes directly to me. We've already tested it out. We know that it works. I will respond as quickly as I can. And if it's something you want me to talk about on the show, there is nothing I love more than topic suggestions for the show, because then I don't have to try and think of everything. So if there's something that you want to talk about, email me, send it in. Go to the website, walkingwithgodradio.com, and click on contact. and then send it to me. I'll talk about it. I'll get it there just as soon as I possibly can. So we have that. Those are the two real big things that we wanted to get out here on the season premiere, on the housekeeping episode of Walking with God, if you will. The Patreon, pray on it, consider it. That's all I'm going to ask. The website, absolutely go to the website. Absolutely take a look around, get to know it, and then it's only going to keep growing. Again, they're adding to it on the daily as to what we can do and what we can access. But we're getting all the old shows up there so you can watch everything. Now, keep in mind, on the old shows, if I give you the phone number to call, of course, that's not going to work anymore. The old email address, now my Facebook says it's trying to reconnect. There we go. It reconnected. So, yeah, great. Facebook showing me that it's ready to roll, too. But anyway, so we've got all of that going on. So, please go to the site. And again, the site was done by Clover Hill Promotions, and they are just the bestest. And so another question that people ask me, okay, well, if you're not a part of the other station anymore, what are you doing now? What about the guests? Can the guests come back? Yes, they can. Those are my guests, and they will absolutely be back. Joe will be on August 21st. That is his first Tuesday here with us. Joe and I have a whole big plan for the remainder of this year, and maybe even going into next year with his appearances that you're not going to want to miss. We're going to bring Joe in to tackle the hard questions of faith. If you have the question, and we'll get to it at some point in time, trust me, why did grandma get cancer? Or, why is the only way to heaven through Jesus? If you've got the tough questions, that's why Joe is coming here. We're going to talk about the tough questions. And if your question is, why did I get divorced? Why is God punishing me by making me go through this? We're going to talk about that too. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to love every answer that you hear, but to two idiots with microphones interpretations, you're going to get the best that we got. Fair enough. Also, people have asked Amy. Amy is going to be back, I was told, today in September. So in September, we're going to have Amy back. If you missed the last show of last season, she was on. She is awesome. I can't wait to have her back. So we got Joe. We got Amy. I'm working with something with Greg from the Greater Than Life Ministries. He was on in the spring. He's coming back in the fall. We're already kicking around ideas on what we want to talk about. If you missed the Greg episode, then you absolutely have to go back and listen to that, because Greg is super funny. I love that guy. So he will be back. So those people will all be back. They all support what we're doing here, and it's going to be great. We're really going to try and up our guests. We're going to try and up our reach and our approach. There were things that maybe I didn't quite do previously because I felt a little restricted. That restriction is gone. So I'm going to say what I want to say, and I mean what I say. I say what I mean, and I'm not going to need to filter myself or try and hold back. I don't answer to anyone anymore except you lovely viewers. So that's where we're at. Got it? Good. So that is the exciting stuff. Let me just double check my notes right quick, but I think we covered everything. So yeah, we're going to get these out on the podcast world as quickly as we can. Clover Hill Promotions has an intro that's going to go in front of all the shows as they go out. So it's going to actually sound and look all sorts of official. That's why if you saw tonight that you were maybe a minute late logging on and I was already blah, 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 we're going in. It's 8 o'clock, man. As soon as I hit go live, I'm talking. We're not playing strange little music. There's no more just smile and wave at the camera while there's no sound. We're going because we got a lot to do this fall. So we got new wristbands. Again, Instagram folks, you can absolutely go see these. I'll show this to everyone. You can see it says, there we go, Walking with God. And then on the back, it's our handle for most things, at WWGKW. The only thing it doesn't work for is the Instagram. That instead of for Instagram, there's just got to be an underscore in between the G and the K. But again, you can find everything by going to the website. And that's it. It's already 8:29. That's like the first show of the season. Ta-da! I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. I saw people hopping in and out. We were up to as many as 11 live viewers at one point in time. We have 9 right now. You guys are the best. You're awesome. I love you. I heart you very much. See, look, there's the heart. Yay. So cool. Come back next week. Next week, we're going to be more normal. I'm going to find us a topic that we want to talk about. If somebody suggests it, great. If not, I'll pull something out of the air that we need to discuss. And we're going to get back to our business as usual. But it's a brand new day for the show. I am super excited. And I thank everyone who has been supportive over these last 3 weeks to a month, even when I might have been not so happy about things and maybe a little snippy. But yeah, not that that could have happened. So anyway, we'll close out in prayer as we normally do, and then I'm going to send you home for the night. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us back. It was a difficult summer, but due to the people that you put in my life, I saw what was happening, and we saw that there were forces trying to stop us from continuing on with what I think is a wonderful avenue for people to heal and recover and just realize they're not alone in their experiences and the negativity that can often affect life. So thank you so much for giving me the drive to continue on, giving me the resources of people who are going to help me in this process, because you can't do stuff like this without other godly people with you. And so I thank you for everyone who tuned in tonight, everyone who's going to tune in at some point in time, and just please bless this show. If this is what you want us to do, then we're going to do it. We're going to do it well. We're going to do it to the best of our abilities. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, everyone. Sorry I was rattling quickly. It was a fast 30 minutes. So thank you so much. We will see you next week. It's business as usual. And again, thank you so much for coming back as we start season 2 of Walking with God with Kyle Walker. Have a great evening. Everyone be safe.